Helps if I unmute myself. Hello! There we go. We're professionals, I promise. I should probably also fix my chroma key. Got the tabletop working. Did not redo my chroma key. And of course now the green screen wants to fight me. Everything's fighting me today! Talk amongst yourselves! Yeah, they're all bugs. They get worked out eventually. The good news is that I know how to do this part. Because I've been doing this part. Wink, wink. There we go. All right. So, welcome. This is our first playthrough of our new Call of Cthulhu campaign. We will be playing through the Masks of Nyarlathotep campaign written by Chaosium. And let's, without any further ado, let me bring that down just a little bit. Let's get underway. All right. Our players find themselves standing in the dimly lit corridor of a hotel. Ahead of you is a hotel room door bearing the number 410. As you knock on the door, you hear a muffled cry and movement within. A sense of foreboding grips you as you look at the faces of your companions. Something terrible lies within. With but a moment of hesitation, you rush through the door into room 410 to find what lies within and your destiny. The scene fades to black. "5 years ago. It is now 1921. Each of you has separately received correspondence from one... Get the right page in front of me. From one Augustus Larkin. Some of you perhaps saw the newspaper ad that he put out looking for fellow like-minded people to help with an expedition. Others may have received a personal telegram from Mr. Larkin. At this time, each of you has found yourselves standing outside the Bar Cordano in Lima, Peru. If each of you would like to put your token on the table just outside the door to the bar, and one by one we'll introduce each of our characters. I'll get Hope's character on the board. All right, we'll go clockwise. Cody, if you want to go first, introduce your character, how you found yourself in Lima, Peru, and make your entrance into the bar Cordano. As you enter the bar Cordano, you see at the long table in the back Augustus Larkin, accompanied by two other individuals. Augustus spots you entering and waves you over to the table and gestures for you to take a seat anywhere. Yeah, that's what I'm realizing. There we go. Cody, if you want to repeat what you said, they should be able to hear you now. Really? Nope. Let me... Let's mute that. Just so that way I can figure out... Yeah.
Testing. 1, 2.
I think maybe talk
Hello.
again, Cody.
Here I am saying things. My favorite color.
I think I can hear Cody when I turn the stream on.
Gray.
Yeah, no, I'm getting lights on the meter. He is a bit quiet though.
Oh, I'm quiet. Do you want me to be closer to the mic? Is that better? Is it worse?
I think that has it. I'll turn down my background noise just to make sure it doesn't overshadow you. But yeah, seems like folks can hear you now.
Okay.
Once more with feeling.
What? I am G.H. Welsh. I am an author, a novelist. I grew up on a farm in Ohio, and I received a strange message from a Mr. Larkin. So here I am in Lima, Peru, seeking opportunity and perhaps inspiration for my next novel.
All right. So, GH has a seat at the back table. Working our way around, Josh, introduce your character. Tell us why he's in Lima, Peru.
I am playing Marcus Robbins. He is a doctor of medicine from England, most notably from Reading. He has been given a letter or been sent a correspondence by Mr. Larkin as he is doing research into a strange illness that is affecting his sister. That's why he's here.
Alrighty.
And I
And
shall
if you,
walk in.
yeah. Again, Mr. Larkin sees you enter, waves for you to have a seat at the table in the back.
I take a seat next to this finely dressed fellow beside me. Good day to you, sir.
Hi.
Alrighty, Emil, that brings us around to you.
I am playing Hërrmann Müllerr, a German pilot, an aircraft pilot that has immigrated to the USA for chance of a better life and saw an advert in the newspaper that talked about an opportunity for a job, a paid job, and I took it because I needed the money to care for my sick mother at home. And I move in as well.
Mr. Larkin sees you make your way in and gestures you find a seat at the table.
It's done. Good day to you all.
And the last person to join everyone. Get the right thing. The last person to join everyone at the table is Ivy Lockheart, who in our next session will be played by Hope. She is a book dealer and acquaintance of G.H. Welsh. Now that everyone has taken a seat at the table, Augustus Larkin stands up, very easily commands everyone's attention, and makes introductions of the two fellows who are sitting with him. The first is a man who he introduces as Luis de Mendoza. This would be the gentleman to his left. He appears to be about 30 years old. And he, the entire time that you've been sitting there for the past few minutes, is not saying much. He nods as each of you sits down at the table. Then Augustus gestures to the gentleman on his right, and says, "This gentleman is Mr. Jesse Hughes." Jesse stands up. He's an African-American man, about 41. Stands up, reaches across the table, shakes each of your hands in turn, looks you dead in the eye, has a perpetual grin on his face. Happiest man you've ever met, even in the uncomfortably dry air of Lima in March. That being said, Augustus looks at the table. I'm certain that you all have many questions. Please, that is what this meal is for. Augustus waves down a waiter and they begin serving a multi-course meal. What questions do you have for the assembled folks?
Well, seeing that Ivy's here, I don't presume to have expected to. I will just assume that this is some sort of collaborative book venture. Are you both authors, or are you publishers, or?
Oh no, sir. I'm no such a thing. I'm an aircraft pilot. I saw some advertising in the newspaper and just was gonna ask what that was actually about. What will be the thing that the advert was
I will be
dragging me
happy.
here?
I will be happy to show you. So, if I bring this up, this is what the advert looked like. Zoom in. Search for ancient pyramid in Peru. Explorer begins expedition to discover site of lost civilization. Dated January 12th in Lima. Explorer Augustus Larkin is planning an expedition to the southern highlands of Peru, where he hopes to identify the site of a pyramid long forgotten by history. Following the discovery of a number of gold artifacts in the region, Larkin believes that he has found evidence that will lead him to their source. He is currently in Lima, planning the expedition, and is recruiting companions and possible backers. And for those of you who responded and made correspondence with Augustus, this is the telegraph that you got back. Blech. Thank you for joining the expedition. Stop. Please join me in Lima. Stop. Have booked you room at Hotel Mori. Stop. Meet 18th of March at 7 p.m. at Bar Cordano. Giron and Cash 202, Distrito de Lima. Stop. Signed, Augustus Larkin.
Okay.
Well, that certainly explains an awful lot, yes. So, what does
Helps
it
a little
require
bit
of
with the
us?
setting, doesn't it?
So, Mr. Larkin, what does it require of each of us individually, then? Or as joined together as a group?
Well, my aim here is to discover the lost pyramid. We are going to be venturing out here a few days henceforth, and we are seeking treasure and glory, as all good archaeological expeditions are.
That sounds mighty fine. So, it is good to say that myself as a doctor of medicine would be very helpful on this in case we come across any ailments or anything, or anybody decides to fall down a cliff and I can repair their arm for them.
Absolutely. Malaria is quite prevalent, so I hope you've all taken your quinine.
Yes, most definitely.
hope.
GH. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
As I said, GH is going to be extremely uncomfortable at the mention of malaria. Probably covering his mouth a little bit more with his handkerchief.
Get back up.
So, Mr. Larkin, can you tell us more about where we will be going exactly? Pinpoint on a map or something?
Oh, certainly. The pyramid is located up in the highlands near Lake Titicaca, a few days' journey from the town of Puno. I've discovered the most probable location of this lost pyramid to be there. And it's in doing my research these past multiple months, I was able to locate a farmer who is familiar with the location of the pyramid.
So, one burning question that I have is, how does one lose a pyramid?
Local superstition. The locals have spun quite the thrilling tale of vampires who suck out all the fat in your body, as well as any other vitreous fluids. And as such, they fear going anywhere near the pyramid, and they have no interest in telling any outsiders where it might be located. Now, over the course of my research, I have been able to locate some artifacts that have led me closer and closer to the secret location of this pyramid. The farmer of which I spoke, I was able to procure some artifacts. Larkin reaches down beside him, pulls out his briefcase, opens it up, and pulls out two artifacts. One is a pendant in the form of a man holding two rods or staves, and it's embellished with rectangular shapes. The other is a golden cup carved with geometrical patterns and circles and inlaid with turquoise. He then passes the artifacts down the table, so that way each of you in turn can inspect the artifacts and see what you make of them. But needless to say, these have helped me ascertain that we are most definitely in the right location. And here, in just a few days, we will be on our way to find the lost pyramid.
Do you know of anybody else who has attempted this before?
Oh, many folks have attempted this before. It's part of why I have guarded my research so carefully. There are many interested parties, but none have been able to find it. And those who have been rumored to have gotten close were never heard from again.
I'm struggling to find the selling point on this, but it looks good. I mean, I'm in.
Fortune and glory. Fortune and glory.
What about the rest of you here? Are the rest of you in?
I mean, I made my way from USA to Peru, so yeah, I'm in. Talking about the way to that pyramid, though, how will we get from here to there?
So, in 3 days, we will leave early in the morning, Monday the 21st, for the town of Puno. I have hired 3 trucks to transport us there, along with the supplies and equipment that we need. Don't worry, I'll be covering the cost for those. Now that you're here, you're on my tab. But the trucks shall meet you outside your hotel. Actually, let me make sure that's your hotel and not his. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Where'd that thingy go? Ah, it's outside his hotel. I apologize. So, on the morning of the 21st, a truck shall meet you outside my hotel, the Hotel España. And I aim to leave promptly at 8 a.m. local time. Once we reach Puno, from there we will procure us some asses, and we will carry on our way up through the mountains and to the pyramid site itself.
Sounds good to me.
Make that sound awfully easy. If it's that easy, then how come it has not been discovered before? Is there anything more you can tell us?
Well, let's see. I suppose the simplest reason is that either the other previous expeditions either got lost and were eaten by local wildlife, or they decided to take up new lives, abandon their former ones. What I can tell you is that my research is undeniable. I know I have the correct location. But if you don't want to take my word for it, you can certainly visit the local museum, the Museo de Arqueologia and Anthropologia. There's a professor there who can certainly help verify where I think the pyramid is.
I mean, we have a few days to kill, so I don't see why not.
But if you have no further questions, I believe Louise and I shall be retiring back to our hotel for the evening.
And where is this other fine gentleman staying, Mr. Hughes?
I do believe that I'll be staying with you at the Hotel Mori, I believe is where Mr. Larkin booked us lodging. But actually, I haven't quite had my fill of dinner yet, Mr. Larkin, if you don't mind. So I do believe I will spend some more time getting to know our new colleagues. And you two gentlemen have a wonderful rest of your night. With that, Larkin and De Mendoza get up and make their way out of the Bar Cordano. All right.
Well,
Let me be on the level with all of you. I don't believe one word of that cockamamie bullshit that Larkin's trying to peddle about local superstition. I'm a skeptic through and through. For the record, Jesse Hughes ain't even my name. My name is Elias Jackson, Jackson Elias. And I don't know if you've maybe heard of me. Actually, GH, give me a roll. Let's see. Give me a. You've got a skill in writing. Give me a writing roll.
So, literature?
Literature, yeah, thank you. Oh, yes, you are very familiar. That was an extreme success. Cody rolled a 4 against the roll. For those of you not familiar with Call of Cthulhu, it's a D100 base game. Whenever I call for a roll, the players are going to be rolling essentially 2d10s or a d100, and the lower you roll, the better. The score that they have in a given skill indicates what they need to roll under. If they roll less than half of that score, that's called a hard success. If they roll less than 1/5, that's called an extreme success. Cody rolled 4 against his skill of 99, and thus got an extreme success. Jackson Elias, to you, Cody, or GH, is a well-known author. Probably his best-known book is Sons of Death, which was exposing modern-day thuggies in India, which... Let's see, where is that handout? That is... That's not right. There's American number 2. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, here we are. Elias's published works include titles such as Skulls Along the River, where he exposed headhunter cults in the Amazon basin, Masters of the Black Arts, where he surveys supposed sorceress cults throughout history, The Way of Terror, where he analyzes systematization of fear through cult organization, warmly reviewed by George Sorrell. The Smoking Heart. The first half discusses historical Mayan death cults. The second half concerns present-day Central American death cults. Witch Cults of England summarizes covens in 9 English counties, interviews practicing English witches. Rebecca West thought some of the material trivial and overworked. The Black Power expands upon The Way of Terror and includes some material on Asian and African death cults, includes interviews with several anonymous cult leaders. And The Hungry Dead exposes modern-day survival of a Peruvian and Bolivian death cult from the time of the conquistadors, which The Hungry Dead is the title of the book that I'm currently working on. Now, I'm here to get the real story, because I don't believe any of this nonsense. I know what's real and what's fake, and all these cults, they're just a bunch of nevermind.
Well, for starters, Mr. Elias, it's a great honor and privilege to meet you. I'm more in the fiction sphere, but I do appreciate a good nonfiction story, and some of your work has just been phenomenal.
Please, sir, the honor is all mine, and if you read some of my reviews, they will tell you that my work is equal in fiction as yours may be. What you said your name was G.H. Welsh? I think I've seen your books on the magazine rack.
Yeah, if actually Miss Ivy over here has been kind of my partner in crime for some of my publications. I like to open up the imagination to things that are a little beyond the realm of real.
Fair enough. Now, the let me again, in the interest of full disclosure, I've done my research on Larkin. Did any of you pick up on his accent? Did any of you have any ideas as to where he might be from?
I did not.
I definitely shake my head.
Unfortunately, I'm absolutely terrible with accents.
Anyone with English as a language, which is all of you, go ahead and give me a language English roll to see if maybe your characters picked up on something.
I'm struggling to find it at the moment. The character sheet's all over. It's different to the one I've used before.
I want to say it's in the middle column of your skills.
Just found it. Thank you. I'm very tempted to push that.
I rolled a 43 out of 50.
73 out of 50. Okay.
I'm good.
37 out of 50.
I was about to
Numbers.
say, I know you Germans do things a little differently with your math over there, but not that different.
I'm going to push my result if that's all right.
Certainly. So, for the uninitiated, pushing your result allows you to re-roll one of the die. So, pushing for 7, that would bring you to an 81 versus your skill of 80, correct?
So I still fail.
Yeah. But just by that much. What that allows you to do is pushing. You get to re-roll one of your die, but it opens you up to the mythos. Now, in this case, Marcus was just trying to put his thumb on that accent. So nothing too terribly bad's going to happen. The other option that players have is they are allowed to spend a resource called luck. And they can spend as much as they want, but it is a finite pool, and it is very hard to replenish your luck. And once you're out of luck, tough luck, Charlie. But when you spend luck, you're just automatically lowering whatever that roll is. It's you don't have to re-roll it. However many points of luck you spend, you lower your roll by that amount. You just have to be careful because you never know when you're gonna need some of that luck. In this case, Hërrmann and let's see. What's your English language skill, GH?
It says 50 on my sheet.
Okay.
I'm not sure why I didn't do the versus thing.
Yeah, that's a little odd. Let me. When in doubt. Language. English. Okay, there we go. Now it's actually reading it. So, obviously I'm going to let you use that first roll. 43 and 37. So those are both going to be, let's see. Was that... I think it actually needed a hard success to pick it out. Yeah. So, both of you, well, Did Ivy roll? Let me have her roll. Nope. All four of you are confident he's a Brit. Solidly. He's definitely from England, born and raised. Wakes up every morning with a teacup in his hand.
Slightly concerned that I can pick up an accent from my own country.
So, remember, none of you actually succeeded at the roll, but you're confident that you know he's British. And when all of you go, well, he was a British. He's as British as the king. Elias chuckles and goes, actually, his accent is Kenyan. And he is of British descent, hence the perhaps hard to place accent. But the lost my place. Larkin, he's been down here for more than a few months, and he's been trying to absolutely no avail to get some of the locals from Puno to help him explore the pyramid, but they're all scared stiff of these vampires that they're all afraid of, that they all are just certain are lurking in the hills and in the ravines. The locals call them Kari Siri. And if I absolutely second Mr. Larkin's suggestion that we go to the archaeology museum. The professor that he wants us to talk to, that's Nemesio Sanchez is his name. Works for the National University, and he very well may be interested in joining in on this expedition with us. The only problem is that, for whatever reason, Larkin doesn't seem to want to let him come on this expedition, which that just has my dander all in a fluff. If you're out on an archaeological expedition, why aren't you wanting the local university professor to join you and lend his credibility to the expedition?
It all seems very, very suspicious to me. The fact that the way he explained the route that we are to take makes that sound far too easy. There's got to be a lot more to it than what he has told us.
Well, I'm willing to believe that he may have an inside track. See, when I did my own background research, kind of tailing Larkin, I followed him up to Puno more than once. The locals are the ones who told me about the Kari Siri. Now, the locals, they're damn convinced that De Mendoza, the silent fella that was with him here at dinner, they're convinced that De Mendoza is one of the Kari Siri.
They believe he's some form of vampire?
Yeah. Now, obviously, Kari Siri, vampires, whatever you want to call them, they don't exist. I've been all across this globe. Never once have I ever come across an actual, real work of mythos or magic or whatever you want to call it. Eldritch, whatever. It's all hocus pocus. It's all hokum. None of it's real. But the local folklore, what they believe, these Kari Siri, the local legend dates back to the time of the conquistadors, about 300 or 400 years back, when the Spaniards first came into Peru. Supposedly, they were the first ones to discover the pyramid. Now, the pyramid, it would have been, if it does exist, it would have been inhabited by the Aymara people, local indigenous folk. And so the legend goes, these conquistadors that stumbled across this pyramid up in the mountains, pried free some gold off one of the entrances to the pyramid, released some ancient evil, and now they are cursed to walk the lands forever, undying vampires. You know how the story goes.
Yeah, so it's obviously a very different tale to the ones that I suppose the rest of us have heard. But, every country has their own origin story for vampires.
Oh, well, certainly. It depends on what religion you find close to your heart. Us God-fearing folk from America or Great Britain, we all tend to believe a very different kind of vampire that's afraid of crosses and garlic. These would not be warded by such mundane things. As far as local folklore is concerned, there are no wards against Kari Siri. You just better beat feet. Now, all of that being said, what I'm willing to bet is the real story and why Larkin and De Mendoza are so certain that they know where the pyramid is. I think they are involved in the cult that I'm researching for my next book. I don't know how the cult and the pyramid are linked, but I know Larkin is up to no good, and I don't know if you guys caught this, but did you notice how Larkin's suit wasn't fitting quite well? Thinking back, you suddenly realize that Elias is dead on the money. That, yeah, it was a really nice suit, but it looked like it was a really nice suit that belonged to Larkin's father. So either he didn't have the money to get it tailored, or he's lost a lot of weight recently. So, what I'm thinking is that Larkin and De Mendoza, they're members of this cult. I don't know how big it is. I don't know how far their reach extends. But I know that Larkin is involved, and I'm willing to bet that they're gonna be up to no good when they get to this pyramid.
Do you know what the name of the cult is that you're researching?
They all call themselves something different depending on where they are in the world. I don't think I've quite pinned down the name for this cult, but they change their names with the changing of the season. Whatever sounds spookiest, wherever they are. Now, I would like to introduce you fine folks to Professor Sanchez, if you would be so amenable.
I mean, if he gives us a little bit more information as to where exactly it is we're going and what we are to expect, then I'm all for it.
I agree with that.
All right.
Yeah. Let's go meet him.
Fair enough. So do we just want to head to the museum, say first thing in the morning?
Sure.
What time of day is it right now?
It's actually, by this point, it is after sundown. It's, you've been eating for a while, so it's probably closer to 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
And did that Luis fellow leave with Tarkin during the daylight?
It was right around sunset. When you guys got here at 7 o'clock at night. If I wanted to be slightly more accurate.
It's suddenly got very dark outside.
Yes. This is the map I should have used. If you want to pull your tokens back out. So, it's sundown. Well, now that you've been eating and talking for a while, it's probably a couple hours after sundown. You got here right at sunset, because having done my research, sunset in Lima, Peru on March 18th, 1921 was at 6:51 p.m. local time. See, I can prep a little.
Man, that is some mighty fine research.
Google, man. So, you guys were getting here just after sunset. Now the sun is fully down. It's completely dark at night. It's night time completely there.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I reckon go back to our hotel if you wouldn't mind taking us there, Mr. Hughes, and we will see about going to the museum in the morning then, like you said.
Oh, certainly. All right, then. Let's see. Y'all are staying Of all the maps I've got, here we are. Just a moment while I prep the map. So, as I'm doing this, Elias signals to the waiter. They settle up the tab for the evening, and Elias phones for a cab. One pulls up a little bit later, and let's see. Let's see. Let me. Are we gonna work? Come on now. Maybe, possibly. There we are. Now we're cooking with gas. All right. And of course, you can't see anything. So if you guys want to drop your tokens over kind of middle left. Let's see, layer token. Yeah. Do we? That should be. And of course, we're still not seeing anything. Gotta love Roll20 and its lighting modes.
We've been hearing this music for 3 hours straight now.
Yeah, our Pip-Boy is broken.
Actually,
I mean, I'm definitely not complaining. This music is awesome.
Welcome to Fallout Peru.
There we go.
TLDR, the pyramid is actually a vault.
Vault 36.
Vault 666.
Hey, there we go. Now it wants to work. Just gotta click the right button enough times. Alrighty. So, let us ba 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 ba. You guys. Let's see. You should be able to explore now. Huh.
I can't get my token to show up.
I was going to say, I seem to be invisible unless I drag my token.
Yeah.
Your layer thing for Roll20?
Stop that. No, you're at the... Here. Go back to the token layer, thank you. I mean, ultimately, you just need to pick a room and, go to sleep for the night. I promise there's nothing to be afraid of in the shadows.
I would like to go for this. Whoa, I just zoomed in quite a lot. I will go for the room in the center, on the right.
Okay.
I will go for the room right to the left of that.
I'll take a room next to Ivy.
Okay. Oh.
So maybe across the hall from the other two guys.
Okay. Nope. Still not. Gonna let me do it, is it? Yeah, we've got a few extra tokens. Let's see, so we'll put you there. Ivy's over here. That's an extra you. Oh. And somehow I got rid of the only Hërrmann. Alright. All right. So, you guys are going to have your evening of rest and then meet Jackson Elias in the morning. And when in doubt, just move to the daylight map. So the next morning, each of you wakes up, and if you make your way out to the foyer, you will find Jackson out there waiting for you.
Good morning, Mr. Jackson. Did you have a good night's sleep? I don't know why I went American there.
Indeed, I did. I heard it sounded like you folks had a spot of trouble last night finding your rooms. Hopefully that won't occur in the future. Now, let's see. We were gonna go meet Professor Sanchez. Isn't that correct?
Yep.
It was indeed,
Yep.
yes. I mean, somebody had the lights turned off last night, that's why we couldn't find our rooms. But yes, to the museum.
Fair enough. Let's see. And with that, you call for a cab. Hold on. We're not playing this game again. Come back here. Okay. Make sure that the map will actually be visible. There we are. And you make your way to the Anthropology Museum. As you enter, Jackson makes his way to the front desk and says, hello there. I'm here to speak with Professor Sanchez today. You can tell him it's Mr. Elias. The secretary behind the desk nods and picks up the intercom and rings back in the switchboard for the professor. A few words are exchanged. I see. The professor will see you. Very good. Follow me, folks. And Elias leads you back to the professor's office. Now, The professor where did his description go? All right. So, Professor Nemesio Sanchez was one of the first academics hired by the National University when the Archaeology and Anthropology Museum was first opened. Now, despite the reputation of the museum and the number of expeditions that the professor himself has led all throughout Peru, Bolivia, and Colombia, his knowledge and his extensive knowledge of the history of South America, Mr. Larkin has just patently refused to contact you, Professor. Isn't that correct? Indeed it is. If you could introduce me to your compatriots. Oh, certainly. Well, I'm sure they can do that just fine for themselves.
Hello, sir.
After you.
Oh, I do apologise. Thank you very much. My name is Marcus Robbins. How do you do?
G.H. Welsh, author.
Hërrmann Müllerr, pilot.
A pleasure to meet all of you. Let's see. Get us some music going. Now, is there any particular knowledge that you five fine fellows and lady are seeking?
I guess I'm a little bit confused. Mr. Larkin told us to kind of confirm that what he's telling us is truthful with you, but he doesn't want to involve you in the project.
Well, I'm sure what Senor Larkin is really getting at there is that he wants me to confirm that a pyramid exists, and that I can certainly do. There's absolutely a pyramid outside the Puno, but as to what it contains or its exact location, that I cannot confirm. But recent overhead flights using the one or two aeroplanes that the university has been able to charter, we have been able to confirm that there's certainly what looks like a pyramid outside the Puno.
But the aeroplanes were unable to track the route to the nearest town and how to possibly get there.
You have to understand that the air up there is very thin, so they weren't able to go as slow as what our cartographers would need in order to make an accurate map. And then on top of that, these are high in the highlands, I guess is the English for it. They is covered in jungle foliage and switchback ravines. Is on foot it would only be passable with the aid of a mule or a donkey. But one thing I can tell you. Let me see if I can get one of my research assistants to come up here. She's been doing some research into the history of of the pyramid. As he picks up the phone to dial down to another one of the rooms inside the museum, he's distracted and you can talk amongst yourselves freely.
So, what information would you say we'd like to try and ask this gentleman for?
I kind of want to learn more about the vampire stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should ask him about his opinion on that, right?
And also, maybe more about the natives that supposedly made the pyramid or were near the pyramid to begin with.
Yes, I believe Larkin said that they were called no, it wasn't Larkin, it was Ellis, the Amara people.
Yeah.
Yes, that's we did. What else was there? There was also something else. Oh, the most travelled. I think asking about previous expeditions would be a good idea to see how other people have fared looking for it and what possible areas to avoid maybe on the way.
Probably also what equipment he would advise us to use to take with us. What we should procure before we go into the jungle.
Yes, that is a very good idea, yes, definitely.
Very good, very good. Yes, come up here as soon as you can. All right. So good. My undergraduate, she is going to bring up some of her research notes and along with an artifact that we believe to be from this lost pyramid. Now, that being said, my greatest concern is that Larkin is either going to be a looter, a grave robber, or that he's just plainly up to no good. The biggest problem is that we have no laws here in Peru that prevent foreigners from taking artifacts from our historical sites. And if Larkin is not going to allow me to accompany his expedition, then I fear that time may be running out for me to organize my own expedition to find it first. So that way, the artifacts there can be protected.
Are you aware that Mr. Larkin already has, or apparently already has, 2 artifacts from the pyramid? Or at least from its vicinity?
He does? At this, Jackson pipes up and goes, I was wondering if you were ever going to bring that up. He pulls out his suitcase that he's been carrying with him and pulls out the 2 artifacts that Larkin left behind from the previous night's dinner. Now, let's see. Do any of you have any particular skill in archaeology?
I have a whopping 5 in it.
Wait, I have 1 in it.
GH?
I don't think I have anything in it, but I'm looking.
Okay. The skills...
No, I have 1.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah. I mean, if any of you want to attempt to roll, you certainly can, but I wouldn't blame you for not. Ivy also does not have any skill in archaeology. Let's see what we got. Yeah. Hugo, those look like an old cup and a necklace pendant thing.
I do say, old chap, that looks like a rather old teapot and a necklace I might have given my grandma might have had at one point.
These are... You're telling me that Larkin is going around saying that these are from the pyramid?
I have a feeling you're about to tell us they're not from the pyramid, and to be honest, I don't think I'm going to be that surprised.
Well, these 2 pieces, they're from completely different time periods and cultures. I mean, the first, this one, the pendant, it looks very similar to some of the artifacts I've seen from Tiwanaku, and those date back to the 5th century. And this cup, this is Incan, not Aymara. Is it probably 100 years older than the pyramid site?
Well, I mean, if it's 100 years older, that's still something, though, isn't it? It's still ancient.
Oh, undoubtedly, they are both valuable artifacts, and if you don't mind, Mr. Elias, I would very much like to include them in our collection here at the museum, but they have nothing to do with the pyramid. And Jackson, Mr. Elias, has no problems, no qualms against that.
Why is Jackson in possession of the artifacts?
Oh, well, I was able to scoop them up while Larkin wasn't looking last night. I have skills that help keep me safe.
But they're still valuable. You'd think that he'd be keeping an eye on those. And I don't want you getting in trouble.
Oh, don't you worry about that. See, I know that Larkin probably is not the rightful owner of these artifacts to begin with. And the fact that I was able to scoop them out from under his nose proves that they clearly aren't that important. Because I was sitting right next to him last night.
Well, let's ignore any credibility of these artifacts apparently held at one point, and let's focus on what Mr. Sanchez here, the information he can give us.
Oh, certainly. What questions can I answer for you? I am happy to share any information that I have.
Are you able to tell us about any previous expeditions that have gone to try in search of the pyramid?
Well, not any of the modern expeditions. However, my student, Trinidad is her name, Trinidad Rizzo. She has been going through the university library and archives for any possible information on the pyramid, and she has been able to locate an old document that dates back to around the mid 16th century that was apparently, it appears to be written by a conquistador by the name of Gaspar Figueroa. And I believe that it refers to the site. It refers to the pyramid. In fact, that's what I called down to her to bring up. Now, other than the expeditions, what else can I answer for you?
Well,
I wanted.
Oh, you go
Go ahead.
first.
I was to say I wanted to know more about the fat sucking vampires.
The Kari City. Yes, I presume that you foreigners would be interested in our folklore. Is just that. Is folklore. Nothing but scary stories to tell your children to make sure that they behave. To fully describe them, the Kari Siri they are different from your European vampires. I believe your myths hold that they can't walk in the daylight, and they look similar. They look the same as humans, except for like just a couple fangs. Our Karisiri are much different. They can walk around during the day. They are indistinguishable from a person until they attack. And then they overwhelm their victims with inhuman strength, and their mouths twist to reveal row upon row of sharp, spiny teeth that they use to lash on to you and suck all the liquid out of your body.
GH is writing that down in his notebook.
Mm-hmm.
Just assume long pauses as us writing notes down.
So, Mr. Sanchez, was it right? What information can you give us that could help us on our expedition with Mr. Larkin? Since we will be going with them, I presume at least, what kind of gear or things should we look out for when we venture through the jungle to that pyramid?
I mean, as many problems as I may have with Larkin in terms of what he plans to do with his ill-gotten gains once he finds the pyramid, I know that he is an experienced explorer. If he says that he is going to procure all the necessary gear, he will have everything that he thinks you will need. Now, Professor Sanchez looks at his wristwatch, picks up the handset of the phone, dials the same number as before. It rings. It rings. It continues to ring. But Miss Rizzo isn't answering. I apologize for how long this is taking. She said she would be right up. If you want, I can tell you where the storeroom is, where she was doing her research, and you can certainly go after her. Go see if you can find her down there.
Sure.
Yeah?
Sounds good, yes.
So with that, he steps out from behind his desk and walks to the door, looks across the hallway and says, through this door, just across the hallway. If you go through there and down the flight of stairs, it will take you down to our basement where the storeroom is located. And you can find Miss Rizzo down there.
Brilliant,
And
thank
with
you
that,
very much.
he takes his seat back behind his desk. Well, then I guess we should be making our way down to the storeroom.
What?
Then let's go.
Such an easy
So-
walk. Don't understand why she didn't get up here sooner.
That's what I was wondering. So, you come down a few flights of stairs, and you come out on this western staircase. Eastern, sorry. Never eat soggy worms. Yeah. There we go. as you are making your way into the hallway. Let's see. Really? That's the sound effect you're going to give me for that? You hear a scream. None of those were screams.
I was about to say I was expecting a scream.
Yeah. So was I. And literally, that button is labeled Shouts and Cries. That was not what I got.
That sounds like we shouldn't disturb her.
Those growls were coming from the same direction as the scream. They were all coming from just ahead of you and to your right as you come down the hallway.
So is that the door on the far? Oh, sorry, no. Sorry, I'm looking at it wrong. So that would be the two double doors in the middle.
Yes.
Righty-ho, chaps. That was a bit of a scary sound. After you?
Definitely wasn't a dog. Or a cat.
I think my first instinct would be to think that something happened, that like she fell or something, because I don't know what kind of animal could be in a museum, right? So I'm gonna go ahead.
Let's see.
Definitely gonna follow you though.
I'm going to ask Elias to stay back with Miss Ivy, and I'll move forward with the other two.
Alrighty, fair enough. Let's see if you can give me, if all three of you can give me listen checks.
Yeah, do I have this? There. Ah.
I passed something.
So all three of you are able to hear the sounds of struggle coming from behind the double doors. Now,
Quick, Mr. Müllerr, get in there.
Yeah, let's go. Wait. There. That'll...
I shall provide medical aid from the back.
I am, though, gonna quickly pull my .30 revolver. And then... if G.H. Wells opens the door, go through that with him.
I do, in fact, throw open the doors.
All right. So inside, you see what at first appears to be just a random person, but then the keeper of arcane lore remembers who it's actually supposed to be. And you see De Mendoza atop one of the tables.
Doing vampire-y things.
Struggling. And it appears that he has already latched on to Miss Rizzo's neck. What do you do?
I
German.
Scream, let her go, and point my gun at him.
It appears that now De Mendoza is aware of your presence, leaps off the table with Ms. Rizzo already appearing more gaunt than she was just a few moments ago.
Is he holding her?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't have a clean shot.
No, it's kind of your standard hostage situation. He has his mouth clamped down on Rizzo's neck and is standing behind her, latched on, and is draining her dry before your eyes.
I think I would try to pull him off of her, or pull her off of him, whichever one I could do.
So you're gonna charge in there and go to fisticuffs?
I don't know. Like, can I just try to grab? Like, I don't know that I'm trying to actually fight him. If that makes sense.
I mean, he's latched on. He's
Okay.
keeping his eyes on you, and as you come around the table, he backs up a few paces and tries to keep space and objects between you and her until he's able to finish his meal.
Can I try to persuade him to stop?
Give me a persuade check. This will be at extreme difficulty. So, you rolled a 93. versus your 99 skill, which is a success, but it's just a normal success. And at this point, between slurps, De Mendoza has clearly, whatever humanity remained within him has been overshadowed by the monster within.
Can I try to pick up one of the artifacts that's on the table and either throw it at him or hit him with it?
Yeah, if you want to give me a throw check, describe the artifact that you're picking up and we'll decide the difficulty. Because right now, De Mendoza is kind of shifting his glance back and forth, so maybe you can catch him as he's looking at GH.
So, looking at the map, I'm going to go for the golden-looking shield thing.
Okay, yep.
And I'm sorry, but I would like to Captain America it.
Just right at his head. So let's see. That's a 39, and what is De Mendoza's? Okay, there it is. Oof. So, you rolled a 39. Question. On your character sheets, I'm noticing something. Do you have the edit mode toggle turned on?
No, mine's turned off.
Yeah, mine's turned off.
Turned off as well here.
Okay. That's odd. I'm just trying to figure out why a couple of yours aren't doing the success versus failure.
I think if you have your token selected, it might.
Oh, that's right. It's that bit of Roll20 nonsense. You've got to click on your token and then click on the ability.
Yeah.
Okay.
My throw is 20, so it's a failure.
Okay. So you hurl this emblem, what you thought was a shield, that is actually a religious icon, that would have been upon a dais in a temple, and you hurl it just as hard as you can at De Mendoza's head. De Mendoza sees you winding up, and as you launch it at the cabinets and bookshelves behind him, he is able to dodge his head out of the way as it goes clattering around the corner. But with that, that finally gets De Mendoza to release his bite, and you are able to see what it is that has been latched on to Miss Rizzo. And let me just resize this a little bit so that way you don't see something you're not supposed to.
I'm picturing the vampires from Blade 2.
But what you see when De Mendoza releases if you look at the stream, are indeed multiple rows of serrated teeth and a gaping wound on Ms. Rizzo as the last vestiges of fat and fluid drip from De Mendoza's mouth.
That's absolutely hideous, and the rumors are very, very true.
But with
Now
that, he growls and howls at you, and leaps onto the table before running out of the room and barreling past Marcus and Hërrmann to make his getaway.
While he's trying to get away, can I get a shot at him with the gun?
So let's see. At this point, Marcus, you'd probably be around about here. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, sorry, I thought to move myself.
It's okay. So it's a very quickly moving target, and Miss Rizzo is behind De Mendoza as he's running towards you, based on where you are. You can certainly try to take the shot, but how well do you trust your aim?
I don't.
I don't want to tell you no.
No, I don't think I trust my aim enough for this.
Okay.
So no.
So De Mendoza barrels past, and as he is running, by the time he makes it to you, Hërrmann, you see that his mouth has already shrunken back and resumed a more normal appearance. And De Mendoza runs, bolts past your companions left in the hallway, and disappears up the stairs.
Well, I will try to run after him, though. At least upstairs.
I would like to run to the assistant and see if she is okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna double check that it didn't attack our companions in the hallway, and then I'll go back and assist with the injured lady.
Okay. So we'll take GH first. If you want to move your token out to the hallway.
Are you both all right?
Well, what the hell was that about? Sounded like a dang old animal in there. And then, was that Mendoza?
Turns out the vampires might be realer than previously thought. Come here.
Oh, that just doesn't sound right at all.
And then I'll take them back in and take them to the room lady.
I will be checking her over. I'll pull out my medical case and doing any checks or anything that I need to do to see if she's okay.
So, when you reach Miss Rizzo's body, you see a hole that is roughly the size of a dinner plate. And I do mean the entree, not the salad. Along her chest and neck, where Mendoza was latched on. You can see that the musculature has been ripped free from the bones, and you don't even need to pull out your stethoscope to listen for heart sounds, because you can see that her heart is not beating. And if you hadn't been watching this occur, you might have mistaken her body for that of one of the mummies that you've been seeing coming out of Egypt.
Looks like she's been mummified alive. I'll see if there's anything around the room that might help us with what Mr. Sanchez was saying.
Okay. GH, any reaction?
Covering my mouth with my handkerchief.
Trying not to upchuck. Got it. So as Hërrmann makes his way up the stairs, you're hot on Mendoza's heels. You hear the door above you burst open as you're half a flight below Mendoza. You go chasing up after him, and as Mendoza reaches the professor's office, he spins on heel, and you see him because by this point you've made it up to the stairway doors at the ground floor of the museum. You see him spin on heel and stare you down and narrow his eyes. He makes another of those inhuman growls, just barely within the range of human hearing, and bolts out of the museum.
Okay, so he bolts. Wait.
So if
to the right and then to the main entrance, right?
Yeah, if I duck back up to this map real quick, it would be down that central hallway and out the main entrance.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if I can now, I would like to take a shot here because I don't see any civilians right now in the shot.
Certainly.
Then I'm gonna try that at least once. Here goes nothing.
Let me give you some tokens. I'll just move all of these up to the GM layer, and I'll give you Mendoza. So he's within range. Give me a handgun roll.
Let's go. Oh. Wait, could use luck to lower that roll, right?
Yes, you could absolutely spend 6 points of luck to bring that roll down.
Oh, look. Sorry, I pressed the luck. Yeah, I'm gonna do that then.
Okay. So what I will do is let me get your character sheet in front of me. And let's see. So that was 6, bringing your luck down from 70 to 64.
Yes, that's correct.
All right. So, you, let's see, you've got a 38 revolver.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Let's see, combat, there we are. Let's see. And, give me a damage roll.
That's 1 straight D10, is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, wait. How do I do the damage in this?
You
I
can
don't
just,
know.
if you go over to the left side of your screen, yeah,
Okay.
you can just roll
Yeah,
a d10.
I thought I could just press the revolver to lead the damage, but okay.
9.
9.
No, I do want you to roll damage. I'm kidding.
I expected this.
So, with that, you pull the hammer back on your revolver. You finally summon up the courage, and look down the barrel of your revolver and remember that there is an innocent woman that this man just killed. There's no way that you're letting him get out of here alive. And let's see. How many hit points? So you fire off your shot. And hit De Mendoza square in the back. The crack of the revolver, smoke coming off the barrel, and then finally De Mendoza getting hit. He stumbles forward a few steps, and wheels back around at you, and roars in anger. And after catching himself, continues running.
I am gonna try to chase after him.
Okay.
At least till around this corner, looking if I can still see him from here.
Yep. As
When I arrive.
you get to the corner, he's at the double doors. I will give you one more shot before he is out onto the busy streets.
Well, that's one I'm gonna take.
Okay.
Nope. That's definitely a failure.
Yeah. So you pull the hammer back again, but having seen De Mendoza just take a shot to the back, and be as upset as you remember you being the last time you got a mosquito bite, your confidence is understandably shaken, and you come wheeling around the corner, level your gun in his general direction, crack, let loose another shot. Only this time it goes wide, and there's an explosion of splinters as your bullet lands in the door frame.
Okay, so now he's probably out on the busy streets, and
Mm-hmm. With that, he is out onto the sidewalk, into the street, and has made his getaway. Hearing all the commotion, Professor Sanchez steps out into the hallway. Senor, why are you firing a gun in a museum?
because you just had one of the vampires that you did say were not real in your basement.
What are you talking about, a vampire?
These Kari-Siri things you were talking about, that we were talking about, that was just one of them.
Bah, nonsense. And he
Go down to your...
ducks back into his office.
I'm gonna follow him into his office.
Okay.
Look, down in your basement, right now, your assistant has just been attacked by this creature. Go down there, see the proof for yourself. I've seen it with my own eyes. I have people down there that can confirm what I saw.
Let's see. Let's see. With that statement, he says, "Fine. Show me what you think you have down in our basement." And he accompanies you back down. Doot, doot, doot. Grab. Professor Sanchez.
At this point, as they walk in the room, I reckon I'd be closing her eyes if they're open.
Mm-hmm. As you reach to do something that you've done 100 times or more, her eyelids crumble to dust under your fingers.
That's not unsettling at all.
My word. Santa Maria. The Caraciri. The real?
It would appear so, yes.
Her research. Where is her research? If one of you would like to, let's see. If you want to give me a quick spot hidden.
Bugger an L.
Yeah, you're kind of shaken by the fact that this woman who was alive and screaming not 15 minutes ago is now crumbling to dust as you inspect her corpse. The medical school did not prepare you for this. What's your spot hidden, GH?
It's 25. I clicked my token beforehand. I don't know. Something.
Okay. If you want to push, I'll allow that.
Sure. How's push work?
Just if you click the bonus penalty button below the 26. Okay. So that gives you enough to be able to find it.
Yeah.
After searching through the scattered papers, you're able to come up with her notes. And let's see. Question is, did I get that? Yes, I did. So, let me add handout real quick. Or, excuse me. Final. And, Hërrmann, if you want to also give me a spot hidden to see if there are any other items of interest.
That's a 3 out of 25.
Yeah, I'd say so. Call of Cthulhu. There we go. Save. So, there are her notes. If you would like to look at them. Based on her research into the final confessions of Gaspar Figueroa. Now, Hërrmann, what you are able to find is a single length of worked gold around 2 feet in length and about 3 inches wide. And probably about a third of an inch or a centimeter thick. Both ends are rough, as though the piece was ripped or broken from a larger design. It weighs a little less than 25 pounds or 11 kilos, making it too heavy for most people to wield in combat situations. The piece itself is largely a straight band, although 4 sections jut out at right angles into short spurs or squared-off spirals. The surface is imprinted with a series of non-repeating geometric shapes, mostly squares and rectangles, with no obvious meaning to them. None of these shapes resemble any known form of writing.
That there, Mr. Müllerr, what you have in your hand is known as the Golden Ward, and supposedly it was pried off the entrance to the pyramid discovered by the conquistadors that were the original Cariciri.
Okay. So, what you're telling me is I am holding a piece of the pyramid in my hand that was taken off by those kind of people that I've just chased through your hallway.
Yes.
I need a drink.
I very much would like to join you on that after what we've just experienced. I'm slightly concerned about what it is we're going to do from here.
So, GH?
Yes.
It looked like you were very intently reading the last writings of Figueroa.
Yes.
Do you have any comments on the writings or the Golden Ward that Hërrmann has found?
No, I'm struggling to read it, to be honest with you.
Okay. After the game, I'll post up in our Discord the full image, so that way you can zoom in on it.
I appreciate it.
That being said, I do believe that as soon as I find the right thing, let's see, I do need each of you to give me a sanity roll.
No. Judging by how all my high rolls have gone today, this isn't going to go well.
Gonna go perfect for you.
God damn it.
Marcus? I unfortunately, well, I could let you spend luck to not fail that.
No,
But
I'll take
if-
it. That was pretty horrific what he just saw. So yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. Then please roll a d6 for me.
Luckily, it was a 1.
The one time you wanted to see that. Please lose 1 sanity.
Hey, if I had been point blank with that wound like you were, I would have lost 1 sanity at least as well.
At least. I find it funny that our hypochondriac is all like, cool. That'll make for a good scene.
I'm slowly going mad.
So with that, I do believe that is where we will call things for this afternoon, as I do have other matters to attend to. But I do want to thank each of my players for bearing with me through all of the technical difficulties. I do want to thank all of you in the audience for hanging out with us today. And hopefully when we get together here in a couple of weeks and pick up the Excursions Into Madness, we will have a much smoother experience now that we've shaken out the bugs.
The
Oh.
features. Bad.
Bugs. I wonder. But thanks everyone for showing up. Have a great time.
Thank you.